to connect a region of over 600 cultural bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. Joining me today is from our EBC Vietnam Bureau. Hello, Micah.
Hello, Alma. I'm Micah Guneth, Apostle from EBC Vietnam Bureau, giving you the news in the dynamic ASEAN region.
On today's headlines. Today, we're honored to have on the program the Honorable Paul Raymond Cortez, Consul General of Dubai and the Northern Emirates.
How U.S. elections will affect the ASEAN region, Mr. Lucio Blanco Pitlo III, Research Fellow at Asia-Pacific Pathways to Progress Talks to ASEAN in Focus.
And we're very happy and we would like to welcome to the program the Honorable Paul Raymond Cortez, the Consul General of PCG Dubai, the Northern Emirates. Good afternoon from Manila. Mr. Consul, hello po.
Magandang umaga naman sa inyo, Alma, and it's beautiful to see everyone again here.
And
Thank
we're
you for
very
inviting me
happy.
again.
Yes, we're very happy to see you. Of course, sir, we're going to ask kumusta na po ang sitwasyon dyan sa Dubai. And please update us po.
Sure. Dubai has been very, very relentless in trying to combat the virus face to face, and they're not afraid to take risks like opening up and reopening up their international economy. They're accepting international tourists as of July, and they figured that the best way to fight and masugpo itong virus is to confront it face to face. Last 2 months ago, they started the Phase 3 of the trial vaccine produced by Sinopharm in China. Mm-hmm. And so far, around 61,000 people had been vaccinated with this Phase 3 clinical trial of China's vaccine.
Yes.
And then last month, inanunsyo naman nila that they already had an agreement with Russia naman, this time for the Sputnik V5. Kumbaga, and they're looking at a trial vaccination period beginning the second half of November. Mm-hmm. So they're trying their best. Not only are they testing more people, they're trying their best to find a solution para hindi tayo nagtatago, kumbaga. Mm-hmm. Because Dubai, as you all know, is a very international and global economic hub.
True.
It is the center of trade, investment, maritime, and aviation. Dubai International Airport being the largest international airport in the world. And True. When everything just shut down, it affected so many people, including so many of our kababayans employed in the tourism, hospitality, food, restaurant industries.
Mm-hmm. True. And so this is being trialed only, the vaccinations, ano po? The
Yes,
Russia Sputnik 5 and the Sinovac na din pala is already included in the trials over there.
Yes, nauna ang Sinovac noong sometime September.
Oh.
And and then so far about 61,000 people have volunteered for this. The results are yet to be found, but we have even the vice president and the prime minister and ruler of Dubai the other day coming up with taking a shot of that vaccine, including the foreign minister, in fact.
Oh, that's interesting to know. So kamusta naman po ang ating mga kababayan over there? How are they doing?
Yesterday, as I said, medyo yung testing nila very elevated and they're testing more and more people, which is why kahapon we had about a little over 1,100 positives, and the other day naman 1,000. But look at the what do you call this, the recovery period naman. So far, about 135,000 have been tested positive among 10 million people in the UAE, but about 134,000 have already recovered. So medyo mataas ang recovery rate. And at the same time, dumadami din ang mga confident sa local economy. And as I said a while back, ito mga kababayan natin employed primarily in the hospitality, I mean the hotels industry, the restaurants, the tourism industry, bulk of that mga kababayan natin. At biglang, as I said, agresibo ang Dubai sa pag-reopen because we would like to encourage more international tourists to come over to Dubai. And, it's not like it's normal, but at least there's a semblance that we're going back into the level of economic activity we used to enjoy. So marami din sa mga kababayan natin ang back to work.
Yes.
At kumukonti na yung mga gustong umuwi. Meron pa rin gustong umuwi and we're still helping them out. But at the same time, andyan yung confidence ng mga kababayan natin sa ekonomiya dito sa Dubai.
As you said nga, no, it's a very global country and city, Dubai. And can you please share with us, since you're talking about our kababayans, your activities there and in the embassy?
Sure. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang food assistance program ng ating konsulado together with Polo Dubai. So far, about 3,000 people have availed of our grocery assistance. Nagbibigay din tayo ng assistance para sa mga kababayan nating na positive. Financial assistance na binibigay natin. I think it's $200 for them. At the same time, tuloy-tuloy din yung repatriation program natin para sa mga kababayan natin who wish to go back home to the Philippines. And of course, this does not preclude naman yung mga kababayan natin who want to go on their own, yung hindi na dumadaan ng consulate or dumadaan lang through their companies. Tinutulungan din natin yung mga documentation nila and all that. But at the same time, we keep reminding our kababayans na porket nag-open na ang Dubai, we should let our guard down, especially and now we are much more aware of how the virus spreads and how we can protect ourselves then. So we encourage everyone to keep, the usual balanced diet, wear a mask, wash your hands, kung pwede mag-face shield, sige mag-face shield, and all the necessary precautions, prescription vitamins and so forth and so on.
And you also mentioned about tourism, Consul. How is the tourism industry right now? As we know, tourism industry is really down all over the world. But with Dubai, can you give us a glimpse of how it is there?
Okay, well, Dubai is one of the most visited cities in the world. Last year, you had something like 17 million. This year, because of Expo 2020, sana they were hoping to get 25 million. But all that, of course, had to be obliterated because of the coronavirus pandemic.
Yes.
But Dubai has slowly started to reopen, and in fact has accepted more international tourists to come in. Hindi nga lang in the millions that we were expecting, of course, because you have the confidence of the international community as well. But that's why Dubai is also, again, I'd like to use the term aggressive in trying to project that image that it is ready to combat the virus face to face, so that yung mga ibang international travelers would be comfortable naman in coming over to Dubai. We're still not in the millions, but our hotels have started to open up. We're seeing a more economic activity in the hotels. The restaurants in the hotels are open. Yung mga families from Russia, from the north are coming over, and hopefully tuloy-tuloy na ito, especially when we have a vaccine trial already that had gone in August, and then now with the Russian in November.
Sir, do you have the latest restrictions po on travel over there in Dubai?
Well, as far as Dubai is concerned, you will need to have a PCR test upon arrival. There are certain countries naman where you have to have it in the origin country, and then here upon arrival at the Dubai International Airport. And then once you are tested negative, you can freely go out of the airport and go to your hotel. Of course, if you're positive, then syempre may mga restrictions din yan. Then you have to be quarantined and hospitalized and all that if necessary. Yung Abu Dhabi naman, there needs to be the travel between Dubai and Abu Dhabi, you need to have a PCR test valid for at least 48 hours before you are allowed to enter the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. It's a different emirate, so there are quite differences in patakaran. And key is it's better to have a PCR test at the country of origin, and there are other countries naman na pagdating na lang dito ang kanilang mga test. But at the same time, that gives you an idea on yung puspusang efforts ng Emirate ng Dubai to make sure na yung mga pumapasok dito COVID negative, and that there are ample resources to help those na magpa-positive naman.
What about flights from Manila? Do we have specific restrictions on those coming from Manila?
Sure. Well, bumabalik na rin itong mga kababayan natin who were residents of the UAE na na-stuck sa Manila. As we all know, Manila is still under IATF regulations, so that yung mga tourists going out of the country are quite restricted. So, kailan lang tayo nagsisimula mag-open up for tourists from the Philippines to go out of the country. And yet, going to Dubai, it's a little bit more stringent because ang pinapapasok natin, ang pinapayagan natin muna, ito yung mga kababayan nating nagtatrabaho na dito who were stuck for some reason or another in Manila. Tandaan din natin, those who were stuck in Manila, those who are holders of resident ID cards in the UAE, need to have approval from the ICA, from the Dubai's ICA, para makapasok sila dito sa UAE muli.
Okay, so marami na po ba tayong mga kababayan na nakabalik po ng trabaho dyan sa Dubai po and the Northern Emirates po?
Yes, Alma. Nung una, it was a little, March and April, it was, as I said, very, very, difficult because all the hotels closed down. So ito yung mga kababayan natin working in this industry. They, nawalan sila ng work, no pay, and it was difficult for them. And now, slowly, nagbubukas na uli halos lahat ng mga hotels. Maraming nag-staycation among the Dubai residents, and it's wonderful to see the economic activity slowly picking up, at pati na rin yung mga kababayan natin going back to their respective places of employment. So yes, at kahit papano, because of this, mas kumukonti yung mga kababayan nating nais na umuwi.
Ayan. All right. Maraming salamat po. Do you have any last message for us? Thank you for giving us that lively lively tourism and lively situation now in Dubai. Do you have any last message for us and our kababayans po?
Sure, Alma. I keep telling our kababayans here that just because there are vaccine trials already underway, just because Dubai is reopening up, it does not mean we have to let our guard down. We still don't understand the virus that fully, but at least we are aware of how it spreads and how to protect ourselves. So keep on taking in healthy food, of course, less of the bawals, but at the same time, and prescription vitamins, of course. But at the same time, let's continue to be very cautious and careful with our dealings outside our places of employment and residences. And hopefully things will get better as soon as a vaccine gets into a global stage.
All right. Thank you very much, Consul. And we hope to see you soon as you have more updates over there. Thank you for taking care of our kababayan. Stay safe, stay alert for everybody. Thank you po.
Thank you, Alma.
ASEAN in Focus, we'll be right back.
Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced. Eagle News, because we live in interesting times.
Ang lakas-lakas ng dating ninyo.
Maganda yung performance nyo.
Magaling kung sa magaling, yung power, pero marami pa rin sabit.
Abangan ang kanilang pagtutuos. This is Tagisan ng Galing Part 2 Dance Edition.
Let's get the latest coronavirus situation in Malaysia. Joining us live is Gail Aldas.
Yes. Hello,
Hi.
Hello, Micah. Yeah, thank you. Here are the latest updates. Malaysia's COVID-19 cases is once again at 4 digits. Malaysia once more has seen a 4-digit number of cases yesterday at 1,032 new COVID-19 cases. And just 24 hours ago, there were 1,054 cases recorded. Yesterday's new cases led to the country's cumulative total to now reach more than 35,000 cases at 35,425. According to the Ministry of Health, 1,029 of the total cases yesterday were local transmissions, and 3 were imported cases that involve non-Malaysians from the countries of India, Singapore, and the Philippines. According to the Health Director General, Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, more than half of the total cases involved were cases from Sabah at 646 cases, while the second highest came from Selangor at 231 cases. The remaining cases were found in the other states and federal territories. With these new cases added yesterday, the country has now 10,339 active cases. 82 of them are currently in the intensive care unit, while 27 are currently on ventilator support. Meanwhile, the number of recoveries yesterday was 820, leading to the total cumulative recoveries to now be at 24,815, which is 70.1% of the overall cases. There have also been an additional 8 deaths recorded, leading to a total of 271 fatalities currently from yesterday. Additionally, 6 new COVID-19 clusters have also been identified, found in Sabah, Selangor, Negeri Sembilan, and the Federal Territory of Putrajaya. And finally, in regards to the Conditional Movement Control Order, CMCO, a sub-district of Penang will undergo CMCO for 2 weeks starting from November 6 until November 19, after finding out that the area has now a total of 35 positive COVID-19 cases. Just 2 days ago, it was also announced that the Seremban district in Negeri Sembilan will undergo CMCO for 2 weeks as well, which has started yesterday, November 4, which will last until November 18. That is all from me. Back to you, Micah.
Thank you for your updates there in Malaysia. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you, Micah. Reporting live from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, he is Gail Aldos. We live in interesting times.
U.S. President Donald Trump fired off unfounded allegations of election fraud on Wednesday. Setting the stage for a potential legal battle, a Democrat Joe Biden took a slim lead in key states that could decide the bitterly contested White House race. As Trump vented his frustration on Twitter over the slow vote count, The Biden camp expressed confidence it was on track to win enough of the remaining close state races.
All right, ASEAN in Focus. We'll be right back.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business every Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. Open for Business, from vision to action.
It says the best defense is still containment.
We are in uncharted territory.
High level volume 450. FI auto 100%. Tracking back. Construction eh.
Everyone, Net25 Kids is inviting you to EBC Webinars 2020, a series of educational and informative webinars for teachers and parents, which will be live streamed via Net25 Kids YouTube page. We will be featuring several guest speakers with years of experience to share information that would be valuable and helpful for teachers and parents as they educate and manage their children in these interesting times. Hope you will join us! For updates, schedules, and more information, please follow the Net25 Kids Facebook page.
The search for the best continues. Tagisan ng Galing Part 2 is now accepting audition entries. If you are 21 to 59 years old and have what it takes to be the next Tagisan ng Galing Grand Winner as a solo performer, duet, trio, band, or grouped act, submit your audition entries now. Just follow these guidelines. To submit audition entries for the singing category, contact Nikki at 0977-651-9504. This is your chance to be Tagisan ng Galing's grand winner and win 2 million pesos. For more details and updates, visit and like the Tagisan ng Galing Facebook page. What are you waiting for? Join now!
We know that this is a scary time for all of us.
The coronavirus is changing the world.
Changing our lives.
So please, take care of yourself.
Keep your distance.
Wash your hands.
And if you can, stay at home.
We at DW
are here for you.
We are working tirelessly to keep you informed on all of our platforms.
We're all in this together.
And together,
we'll make it through.
Stay safe, everybody.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Please, stay safe.
Sila ang mga kinikilalang bayaning may mahalagang papel para makamit ang kalayaan at pagbabago sa Pilipinas. Pero sa panahong ito, may mga bagong bayaning nakikipaglaban sa sakit na lumaganap sa buong daigdig, ang COVID-19. Ang ating mga frontliner, gaya ng healthcare workers, mga doktor, nurses, medical technologists, at iba pang health professionals, mga pulis, sundalo, security guards, mga tauhan na nangangalaga sa seguridad at mahahalagang pangangailangan ng bawat komunidad. Ang mga bagong bayani, ating pasalamatan. Kilalanin ang kanilang sakripisyo at serbisyo para sa lahat.
U.S. President Donald Trump fired out unfounded allegations of election fraud on Wednesday, setting the stage for a potential legal battle as Democrat Joe Biden took a slim lead in key states that could decide the bitterly contested White House race. As Trump vented his frustrations on Twitter over the slow vote count, the Biden camp expressed confidence it was on track to win enough of the remaining close state races.
And now, after a long night of counting, it's clear that we're winning enough states to reach 270 electoral votes needed to win the presidency. I'm not here to declare that we've won, but I am here to report that when the count is finished, we believe we will be the winners. Now, every vote must be counted. No one's going to take our democracy away from us. Not now, not ever.
We will win this, and as far as I'm concerned, we already have. So thank you very much. We'll maybe see you later. Have an exciting day. And for you, I just appreciate everything you've all done, and we'll see you soon, okay?
It's not my place or Donald Trump's place to declare who's won this election. That's the decision of the American people. But I'm optimistic about this outcome.
I thought that Biden would win very easily, as of like 3 years ago, or 3 hours ago, and now I'm pretty sure that Trump is going to win. And it's upsetting. I think there are going to be some civil unrest here in Oakland. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Move back. Leave the area. Leave the area.
Earlier, I was able to talk to Mr. Lucio Blanco Pitlo III, the Research Fellow of Asia-Pacific Pathways to Progress, where he talked about how U.S. elections and the next leadership will affect the Philippines' bilateral relations with China, especially in the South China Sea. Let's listen in. Will another 4 years of Trump impact us here in the Philippines by way of climate change, biodiversity, and how about our bilateral relations with China?
Yeah, so certainly I think our relations with China would come under increasing scrutiny with fresh mandate from the Trump administration. We know that acrimony between the United States and China is increasing across the board on many fields, and South China Sea is certainly one theater where we see this competition between the US and China. So this increasing freedom of navigation operations and exercises on the part of the US Navy is being met by exercises also from the part of the PLA, Navy of China. So the risk of conflict, the risk of miscalculation is becoming more high as these two major powers interact, in the South China Sea. So with the Philippines, a major claimant in the South China Sea, along with Vietnam, Malaysia. So I think the efforts for ASEAN, to fast track the code of conduct in the South China Sea, work it out with China, and probably, hopefully, open it up, to other countries. Factor the interests of other user states or major countries, major maritime powers that also uses the strategic South China Sea, like the U.S. So I think that may help dial down tensions. But at the end of the day, I think it would still be up to U.S. and China how to negotiate, our relations that is becoming increasingly more frictious with the continuous rise of China and the desire of the U.S. to remain a major power in this part of the world, in the Indo-Pacific.
You suggest that this is the way forward, fast-tracking the COC?
Yeah, certainly. I think it's one potential way to try to diffuse tensions, especially within the claimants, ASEAN claimant countries like Philippines and Vietnam and Malaysia, and that of China. Of course, we should not be putting all our hopes in this mechanism, but it's certainly one way to build confidence, and it's one way to, if the COC will have a dispute settlement mechanism that would be binding and effective, I think many countries would be interested to accede, and adhere to it, even though they're not direct claimants to the South China Sea.
Mr. Lucio Blanco Pitlo III, the Research Fellow from Asia-Pacific Pathways to Progress, also talked about the impact of the U.S. elections on the ASEAN region. Again, let's listen in. ASEAN region. You mentioned countries in the ASEAN region. There seems to be parallel movements and disruptions in the body politic of each Southeast Asian country right now. And is this a sign of the pendulum swinging to the far left or to the far right? And how does the U.S. elections turn out affect? How will it affect the ASEAN region?
I think some movements, some civil society or press, student protests, I think they may be emboldened if Biden wins and if Biden walks the talk in terms of standing up strong on human rights and democracy promotion and maintaining that space for expression of dissent. So I think if Biden will hold on to those campaign pledges, then it would be a resounding voice that would not be missed by human rights groups, by student protests or protest movements broadly, not only in Southeast Asia but also in Hong Kong and in other parts of Asia. So I think that is a development that may take place. If Trump wins, there is a likelihood that these movements may not get the support that they may get from Biden. Trump is trying to keep and maintain relations with governments in the region. And so I think he will not rock the boat too much. He will raise these issues, but probably in more private conversations, but he may not push as hard as Biden.
How about in the Philippines? We have a very unique body politic here at present, di ba? So we do not have a strong opposition party right now.
Yeah. So I think relations between Philippines and the United States would be affected by the results of these elections in the U.S. Of course, in the Philippines, we will have elections in the coming 2 years. So I think the results of these elections may also affect the trajectory of the alliance. Of course, we have the disputes with China on the South China Sea, and our alliance with the U.S. has long been seen as a deterrent against incursions on the maritime front. So how do we try to maintain that alliance as a hedge against potential Chinese adventurism in the South China Sea? Of course, this alliance is increasingly under threat because of some rhetoric from President Duterte and some interest to try to have more agency and to have more say in the direction of the alliance. So I think how this Philippine-U.S. Mutual Defense Treaty, this alliance which has been there since 1951, which has been a cornerstone of our external defense and also of our foreign policy, how will we keep it with the rise of China, with our increasing economic exposure to China, and of course our relations with our other neighbors in ASEAN. So certainly these election results in the US will have a far-reaching impact for Philippines and broadly for Southeast Asia also.
True. Will the Philippines be able to walk the tightrope in relations between the US and China with regards to the South China Sea?
Certainly, I think we should. I think it's an imperative. China is our biggest trade partner. It's an important investor. It's increasingly an important player in our infrastructure. U.S. is our long-standing ally. It's our major security partner. It's a big investor. And so maintaining good relations with these two powers is important. I think as far as the South China Sea is concerned, at the end of the day, we should also hope to contribute, in efforts for great powers, to come to terms among themselves, because we can try to do our part to make U.S.-China relations better. But that decision of how to conduct their ties, at the end of the day, those decisions will have to be made by people in Washington and in Beijing. So ASEAN can play a role probably to mediate, probably to provide an office to, for leaders of both sides to agree, to meet and discuss. But at the end of the day, it's U.S. and China. Their position, their clash in Southeast Asia will have a huge impact for the region, including for the Philippines.
In other news, the hardline Buddhist monk turns himself in Monday after 18 months on the run and less than a week before Myanmar's national elections, a move analysts described as a bid to influence the vote, once dubbed by Time magazine as the Buddhist Bin Laden. For his role in stirring up religious hatred in the Buddhist majority nation, Ashin Wiratu has been on the run since police issued an arrest warrant in May last year. Take a look.
မိမိတို့2020ပဲမဲပေးတဲ့အခါမှာဗုဒ္ဓမြတ်စွာသာသနာတော်ကိုချီးမြှောက်မဲ့အမျိုးဘာသာသာသနာတော်ကိုချီးမြှောက်မဲ့အဖွဲ့အစည်းလက်တော်အမတ်လောင်းတွေကိုအဓိကထားရွေးချယ်ပါလို့ဆရာတော်ကနာတော်ကပြောတော်ပါတယ်ဘုန်းကြီးတို့ကလောက်ကသူတနေရာကြွလာတဲ့နေရာတော့ဘုန်းကြီးတို့မသိဘူးကျောင်းတညချင်းပဲမလုပ်လာတာလဲလို့မေးတော့လက်ပြန်ကိုဖန်ခံတော့မယ်ဖန်ခံတော့ဆရာတော်စဉ်းစားပါအောင်ပြောတော့ဝိုင်းပြောလို့မရအောင်ခေတ္တဆိုသူဆန္ဒလိုက်ရောမယ်ကဘာအေး
The 52-year-old has long been known for his nationalist anti-Islamic rhetoric, particularly against the stateless Rohingya Muslim community. But it was his outburst against civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi and her government last year that prompted the arrest warrant for sedition. After a year and a half as a fugitive, a video posted online on Monday showed him speaking to supporters in Yangon, wearing a face mask and shield against coronavirus. The government forced me into this situation, he said, calling on Myanmar citizens to vote out the evil National League of Democracy party from power. Wiratu could face up to 3 years in jail if found guilty of attempting to bring hatred or contempt or of exciting disaffection towards the government.
Hungary's foreign minister tested positive for coronavirus in Thailand, the kingdom's health minister said on Wednesday, a day after he jetted in from a meeting with Cambodian Premier Hun Sen. The confirmed case left the Cambodian strongman facing the prospect of a period in quarantine as well as a test for the contagion. Peter Ziarto flew into Phnom Penh Tuesday for a one-day official visit to sign agreements on civil aviation, agriculture, and water management, as well as reopening an embassy after a 25-year hiatus. On Tuesday night, he arrived in Bangkok and was swiftly taken to hospital after testing positive for the virus on arrival. The test showed he has COVID-19, but he didn't have any symptoms. Thailand's health minister Anutin Charnvirakul told reporters after he visited Ziarto at Bamras Naradura Infectious Disease Institute on Wednesday. During his Cambodia visit, Ziarto was pictured with Hun Sen at a meeting where neither appeared to be socially distancing or wearing a mask. He also met his Cambodian counterpart and shook hands with a coterie of other ministers. All of those people would now be tested and quarantined according to Phnom Penh's foreign minister. Hun Sen announced on his official Facebook page Wednesday night that he was in the clear. Ziarto's scheduled meetings in Thai capital were cancelled and an extra plane was ordered from Hungary to transport him home separately from his staff. Strong winds will continue to prevail other parts of northern Luzon as severe tropical storm Sione maintained its strength, the Weather Bureau said in its 11 p.m. Wednesday bulletin. Shawnee packs a maximum sustained winds of 95 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 115 kilometers per hour while slowly moving westward. It was last tracked 670 kilometers east of Basco, Batanes. Tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 is still hoisted over Batanes, the northeastern portion of mainland Cagayan, and the eastern portion of Babuyan Islands, the Dicast Islands, and Camiguin Island, including their adjoining islands. Forecast strong breeze to near gale conditions over these areas by Thursday night. It added that strong breeze to near gale conditions will continue in the next 24 hours. Over Batanes, Babuyan Islands, the northern portion of Ilocos Norte, and the northern and eastern coastal areas of mainland Cagayan due to the northeast easterlies. The through of Shawnee and tropical storm Goni will cause scattered light to moderate with at times heavy rain showers over Pangasinan and most parts of Central Luzon, Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Bicol Region, Visayas, and Mindanao. Rough to very rough seas will be experienced over the northern and eastern seaboards of northern Luzon, western seaboard of northern Luzon, eastern seaboards of central and southern Luzon, western seaboard of southern Luzon, and the seaboards of areas under tropical cyclone wind signal number 1. Fishing boats and other small sea craft are advised not to venture into the sea, while larger sea vessels are alerted against big waves. Moderate to rough seas will continue over the western seaboards of central and southern Luzon, and the eastern seaboards of Visayas and Mindanao. Pag-asa advised mariners of small sea craft take precautionary measures when venturing to the sea.
Deputy Prime Minister Foreign Minister Pham Binh Minh called for financial assistance from the World Bank in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic in Vietnam. Take a look. During his virtual meeting with Managing Director of Operations, Axel van Trotsenburg, he called for World Bank's more financial support and policy recommendations for the country's development process, especially when the country is drafting socio-economic development plan and the medium-term public investment plan in the 2021 to 2025 period, according to its government website. The host leader suggested that the World Bank closely work with Vietnamese relevant ministries and agencies to remove the barriers in disbursement of ODA projects in Vietnam. Deputy Prime Minister Minh affirmed that the government would further coordinate with the lender in reviewing and updating the country partnership framework for the 2018 to 2021 period, making it match the latest situation, especially in the context of the pandemic, while proposing a development partnership framework for the years 2022 to 2025. Thank you, Micah, for joining me today. Thank you for helping me out.
Thank you, Alma. And that's the latest news in the ASEAN region. I'm Mike Bunath Apostle from EBC Vietnam Bureau. We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Micah. And we'll see you back tomorrow here on ASEAN in Focus. I'm Alma Angeles. We live in interesting times.